Like a lot of people, I've been going through a season of change over the past couple of years. It didn't start because of the lockdowns, but the lockdowns certainly actually gave me more space for these changes to work through. These changes are personal and career. And I know to the people who know me on a daily basis, the changes may seem sudden, but I'm not the kind of person who reveals everything. I've always held my emotions and my thoughts close. I don't share them easily. And so a lot of people think that the changes that I'm making in my life now are sudden, done on a whim, done solely in response to the illegal and unethical actions of my ultimate boss, at least my ultimate boss for a little over the next week. But the truth is that, at least as far as my, career path goes, I've wanted these changes for a long time, and I just didn't know how to go about doing it. I was so trapped for so long, and I was truly blessed with the job that I'm leaving, that my coworkers were and are wonderful, competent people. I really lucked out on my work environment for the past nearly 16 years. I learned so much from them, and I really learned how to excel in the quality of what I was doing. So I am thankful to that, but at the same time, it was one of those jobs that is tedious, at the same time mentally exhausting. It was a job that used a lot of my brain, and by the time that I would be done with my job, especially during the intense seasons, I wouldn't have, my brain would be so tired that creative pursuits like art and writing, I just didn't have the energy for. And so what was supposed to provide the security and the stability for me to pursue my love of art and my love of writing and my love of music instead drained all the energy that I had that could go to those pursuits. And so while I had a good job, and while I had a stable position and good benefits and good pay, I've been dying for so long because that job was never my love. And we'll get into my social problems, my dating difficulties, and why, yes, I am still unwed and have still not had children and probably never will. We'll do that in another video. But the point is, as good as this job was, I wasn't happy. And I wasn't going to be happy because I knew that the things I was meant to be doing, the stories that need to be told, the beauty that needs to be expressed, is still locked up. It's still in there waiting to come out, and I haven't had the mental space or energy to go after it. So a year ago, I started to try to change this, and I started with prayer, because I realized what I prayed for was freedom. Because what I realized was that my security, my stability was chains. Just heavy, heavy chains. So I wanted freedom. So I prayed for freedom, and I did some workings for freedom, because I do not believe the two are mutually exclusive. And last January, a friend that I hadn't spoken to for a while, life had happened for both of us. He got in contact with me via text, and we ended up having a good discussion on finances. And he gave me a wonderful reading list that started with Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then went from there. But that was the foundation. And we actually played, I don't know if you know, but Robert Kiyosaki has a game called Cash Flow, and I played it several times with him and some mutual friends. And as we played, I could feel my brain shifting. I could feel my mind shifting around these new perspectives and new ways of looking at assets and liabilities and income and what even is it to be wealthy? How does one define wealth? Which really came down to freedom. The freedom that I'd been looking for. So I dove into the reading he recommended, and then once I finished the list, I pursued more books and more reading. And he also put me in contact with a local group that was focused in real estate investing. And I was a guest to one meeting, and I got so excited. And they were having a training coming up a month or two after that meeting on a topic that I didn't know anything about, but the little bit I was hearing was interesting. And that ended up being, I joined that group. And once I joined that group, I signed up for that training that had intrigued me. And I took that training and I started a business. And not only did I start a business, but the woman who gave the training, an expert in her field with over 35 years experience, she's now my mentor. And we're working together. And by the time this month closes, my company will be in the black. I've only been able to work on it so far on the weekends, and not even every weekend, one weekend a month maybe, and with the spare change in my pockets for the marketing. And I'm going to be in the black by the end of this month, and not only in the black, but with an operating budget moving forward. And let me tell you, that's a damned impressive thing for a small business in its first year in this economic environment, right? Yeah, that's the old joke, but it's true. That's why it's funny, right? But the timing is such that it lines up right with my current boss's extraordinarily illegal and unethical mandate. And when I say boss, I mean commander-in-chief, okay? That's my ultimate boss right now. And you can have the matter of the subjects that cannot be named on social media. Everyone can have their own opinion, and I respect that. I encourage everyone to form their own opinion, and that is why I'm so against the concept of these mandates, which aren't even properly laws, but okay. I've always been a strong believer, a strong defender of the U.S. Constitution, of the freedom of individuals to choose for themselves. I've also always believed that the phrase "the greater good" in history has always been accompanied by a massive lie. And not just a massive lie, but something inhumane, something vile and cruel. Because that's the only time they need to use that excuse. That's the only time they need to convince you that it's for the greater good, is when it isn't. So of course I'm creeped out by a lot of what I'm seeing right now. Of course I am. And of course, as a result, I waited. I heard the announcement months ago, but I waited to see what would come down the chain of command. And in mid-October, really, mid to late October, we finally got word. There was no pushback from the chain of command, as far as I can tell. And so I knew my timing. And yeah, it's scary. But as soon as that directive came down that, yes, November 22nd, that was the deadline, I knew that I had until the 19th to decide the course of my future. So, on instinct, out of habit, I started sending out resumes. And I started actively hunting for jobs. And there are job sites actually oriented toward people of my viewpoint. Went there too. And my first interview was actually from one of those jobs, and I didn't get the job, though it was a wonderful interview. I was in competition with the likes of the global head of customer satisfaction from IBM. A little government cog like me cannot compete with such experience, but I got to speak to the CEO of an amazing company, and I didn't get the job, but I really support what they're doing. So redballoon.work, people, check it out. That's your one of your major pro-freedom job boards. But there were other interviews after, and most of them were pretty good. But after every interview, I was left uncomfortable and disquieted. Something just wasn't adding up. A couple weeks ago, I drove out to visit a dear, dear close friend who lives in northern Illinois. The rural area, not Chicago. She used to live in Chicago. She's not there anymore. And the footage you're seeing right now is from that drive out, because I won't fly and I love road trips, and it's autumn, and why wouldn't you drive if you're passing through the Appalachian Mountains? So I had 2 days to drive out, 3 wonderful days with her amazing, beautiful family, and 2 days to drive back. And you know, a lot of deep thinking happens when you're driving, especially long distances. I think that's part of what I like about it. And yeah, there was a lot of singing along with my excellent driving playlist, whether that singing was in English or Japanese or Latin. It's all good, right? It's all fun. But a lot of thinking in between. And even as from hotel rooms, I was setting up for more interviews, I realized in that drive that getting another job was the wrong direction. I have a small business. It is going to be in the black by the end of this month. Now is my chance. Now is my opportunity. Now that I have an operating budget going forward, I can really put some money into the marketing. And now that I have, you know, the experience of the past several months of what I'm doing in this business, I'll be able to do more of it than, you know, this first time around, really heavily leaning on my mentor. This time I'll be able to do better evaluation on my own. I'll know what we're looking for in a more visceral way. And I'll have time. I'll have time to dedicate to my business, to really take it to another level. I'll have money to take it to another level and increase my income. And this is the important thing, I actually enjoy this work, but it doesn't take massive blocks of time. It takes some medium chunks of time. I will grant that. And there is definitely use of the gray matter involved. I could never expect to do well on something that was nothing but tedium and repetitive tasks. But not as much as my current job that I'm leaving has. This new career with my small business, it energizes me. It doesn't drain my energy. And now I'm going to have more time. I'm going to have the mental and physical space to write the stories clogged up and backed up in my brain, to try to bring forth and express the beauty trapped in my heart that I so want to share with the world, or even share it with one person. So I guess this entry, it seems sudden. Everyone thinks it's sudden change. Oh, you're just reacting to this. Oh, you're just reacting to that. No, that may have input into my timing, because my slow, reluctant, stubborn ass, I wouldn't move. I'm a Taurus, people. We're bulls. We are the embodiment of inertia. An object at rest will stay at rest until it is forced to move. And that has really been the story of my life. Even though I've been putting these changes in place, and even though I've been working on them, that full commitment, I was way too Taurian to do it, until I was literally backed into a corner and I had no choice. And I know that as I was driving back from Illinois to Maryland, driving through beautiful landscapes of trees that looked like they were on fire, I knew that this was the universe, this was God, this was fate, whatever it is you believe in, but that higher intelligence, that higher benevolent intelligence was telling me, girl, it is time to get off your ass and get after this. Stop chasing security. You already know that this security you're chasing is chains. You already know that this stability, this security that you want, you think you want, you don't want it. You've been there. You know, the whole point of this was to get away from that. What are you doing? So I guess what I want to say after, gosh, gonna be 20 minutes in a bit. This is a season of change for me, and I'm sure that you will see that reflected in these videos. And it is scary, and it is exciting, and I don't know what's going to happen. I've already been hitting roadblocks, and I'm already trying to work my way around them. But I am filled with so much hope right now. I am absolutely filled with the belief that this is going to work out and it's going to be amazing. That said, if you have any spare prayers or good vibes that you could send my way, do so. If this video comes into your feed and you don't find it terribly obnoxious or awful, then, do the things. Give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give me a subscription. Do all of that. I'm hoping to keep updated. I don't know how often I'll be posting. I hope to get into a regular posting schedule at some point. Hopefully soonish. But I'm a one-woman show over here, and I don't know crap about what I'm doing. I'm such an analog person, honestly. So that's really it for today. I hope this footage was nice for you to watch. I hope my words were not terribly offensive. That was not my intent this time. I'm sure other times that will be my intent, but not this time. And in the meantime, I hope your life is going well. I hope that whatever challenges you are facing, you're facing them. I hope that you are taking the chaos of life and learning to tumble and turn with it, to dance through the chaos, ride the storm. And that's really all we can do these days. Let go of security. Just dance through the chaos. God and the universe bless you all, and I'll talk to you later.